Well, hello. You know, in summer, what do you go for when you go to a picnic, when you go to a potluck? You love the pasta salad. And you know, there's creamy ones, there's more like green ones, there's all different types. This is a delicious fresh herb pasta. The dressing is super quick and it goes together with so many herbs from my garden. There's parsley, there's basil, there's oregano. We're gonna roast some vegetables to give it even more flavor because sometimes, let's be honest, you go for the pasta salad, you get that great texture of cooked pasta, and then just like hard, crunchy vegetables, it doesn't always mix the best. So instead, we're gonna make elements that add flavor, add great texture, and are just perfect. So to start, I like to roast some vegetables. So like I said, traditionally, when you have a pasta salad, you're gonna maybe have some fresh broccoli in it, have different things like that. Well, instead, I think there's just something, one, if you follow me, you know I'm obsessed with a roasted vegetable, any type. So what I'm doing here is taking the florets of broccoli that are beautiful, and I'm kind of just cutting them into nice pieces. Again, I like to see them. So some of them that are large, I'll cut kind of in half and kind of make it a little bit more palatable. Some of them I kind of leave so you can see them. And what I'm gonna do is put them all on here. Now, here's the, should we call this a tip? I do not throw this stem away from the broccoli, whether you get crowns or the whole thing. No, guys, cut off the very bottom maybe where it gets kind of woody, but instead, when you chop these up into bite-sized pieces, whether it's home broccoli like this, whether you're gonna go buy some, it roasts beautifully. You don't have all that waste. I don't get, you know, okay, whether you grow your own or not, I don't get the whole waste thing. If you can eat it, if it's delicious, don't waste it. There's gonna be tons of good fiber in that. So along with that broccoli, which already beautiful, I'm gonna add some carrots. Now, I've chopped up most of them. My thing, and I say this too all the time, if you have something that's either homegrown or if it's organic or you know the good quality of it, I don't peel my carrots. Yeah, I know. Some people think that's just like, what? No, I don't, because there's so much goodness on them. And if you know where they're coming from, or if you know that how they were growing and they're good quality, I don't think we need to worry about all that. I'm just being honest. I'm just saying, think about it. So along with those, I'm gonna kind of spread them out. But what we're gonna do is, just like we would do if we were gonna eat them, I'm adding some oil, just some good olive oil, just throwing it over the top. You know, to me, roasted vegetable, no matter what time of year, it's always good. Whether you want it for a salad, you want it just to have as a side, keep it in your fridge, use it throughout the week, roasted veg, all around, always a good thing. So I'm just making sure that my oil is kind of all over them, well spread out. It is, especially on the broccoli, because I think they roast better when you make sure to get it in the tops there. I'm gonna take some salt. We're gonna make sure to get that salt all over them. You know what my problem is? Yeah, before I'm starting these videos, I sit here and I pick at whatever it is. So whether it's the vegetable, whether it's the broccoli, and then I get in trouble because when I start this, it's in my throat, and then I'm gonna have coughs. Okay, so I'm putting now some pepper on it, whether it's fresh ground, whether it's pre-ground. Let's not worry about that. Let's just worry about getting the pepper on there. Look how beautiful that already is. So we're gonna roast it, make sure it gets a little bit browned, a little bit toasted. I'm gonna put it in the oven. And you know what I'm gonna put with it? Some pine nuts. Now, you can buy them pre-toasted, but if I can, I'm always gonna buy a nut that isn't. I think it keeps longer, especially if you keep them in the freezer. And then when I want to, I'm gonna do my own toasting. So I'm gonna put them in with this. The pine nuts will come out before this when they get nice and browned. And then we're gonna put it together. We're gonna make a dressing. I can tell you're excited. So we're ready to cook the pasta. I have boiling water. You can use, you know, whatever kettle you use for pasta, but what I am gonna do is make sure to season the water. You know, the thing is, this is the only chance you have to actually season the pasta itself. So it's boiling. We're gonna dump it in, make sure it comes back to a boil, let that cook, and while it's doing that, we can make the dressing. That's the best part. So for the dressing, when I make almost any of my dressings, I use just a big container, and I like to use my immersion blender. You can do a regular blender, you can do whatever you want, but what I've done is pulled some leaves off to start with basil. So I went out to the garden, got in some of the best, some fresh, just beautiful herbs. And what we're doing is we're packing the herbs in there. So we have basil, oregano. Now, oregano is one of those that I like to just strip off. So if you have tall, long stalks, you can kind of just go strip it off, put it in. Especially with small leaved things like that, it works really well. So with the parsley, you know, it has some short stems on it, and unless they're really stocky and thick, I can take a few of those off, but I don't mind if there's a little bit of stem, because we're gonna pulverize them. So we're gonna put them in here, and don't worry if you're packing this in, that's totally fine. Check your pasta while you're doing it to make sure it doesn't boil over. We're gonna make sure we get, I'm going heavy on parsley because we want that green, we want that beautiful, just like fresh summer flavor, and that's what we're going for. So we have the herbs, then we're gonna add in some garlic cloves. Now what I do with a garlic clove, always just cut off that root end, that butt end, take it, and then I just smash it with the back of a knife. Kind of just pulls off then that skin. You can kind of just, it's so much easier. And what's nice is we don't have to chop it because it's going right in there. So I'm gonna take a spring onion, a scallion, whatever you have. I'm gonna chunk it, kind of just like a rough chop, more because it's easier for the blender or the immersion blender to work down. But what I like is, since we're using kind of fresh things here, it doesn't give it a pungent onion flavor. It instead gives it kind of that nice, subtle, light, almost sweet onion flavor, and that's what we want here. So we're adding that in. So now you need the actual liquid, which is gonna be some red wine vinegar. You can use kind of, I like a red wine vinegar because it gives you that acidity, but it has something extra to it, which I just think is kind of nice. So then I'm gonna do an oil. Now, you can do an olive oil, but sometimes I think I want more of the flavor of the herbs to come through than a strong oil. So instead, I will do a lighter oil. So maybe a grapeseed, a safflower, sometimes even an avocado, depending. Of course, on top of that, some salt. We need to make sure it's seasoned well. A little bit of pepper. I just like that combination. And then this is the best part. You can pick up your blender. Now, you can use a regular blender, remember. But this just makes it easy. That's all it is. So you can go through, make sure it's blended well. Now, when you get to this part, it is always best to what? Just to taste it. Make sure it's balanced well. You may have to tend to nicely go a little bit more, you know, salt in it, maybe some pepper. I think it's just right. So we're gonna sit here with this. We're gonna let the pasta finish cooking, the vegetables roast. We're gonna put this together. Summer pasta salad. The pasta's done. I had it draining. And I also in that time pulled out the vegetables, the pine nuts. So obviously the pasta's still hot. But the thing is, like you do with a lot of sauces, and since this is kind of a more, not like a vinaigrette sauce, but almost, I like to start dressing the pasta when it has some of that heat on it, because I feel like that pasta really then absorbs the flavors, really picks up what's going on, which is what I like. So we're gonna put on a good majority of the dressing, and I just wanna stir that in there. What I love instantly, do you see this? How beautiful and green and fresh. And as we're stirring it, you can see it kind of starts kind of just like not being able to near nose as much because that pasta is actually picking it up. I mean, the thing is, you could serve this hot, but it's a cold pasta salad in the sense that once it's chilled, wow. So what I'm gonna do is as that's kind of just absorbing, guys, if you could be here, the aroma of those beautiful herbs are just delicious. So we have our roasted veg. So we have the broccoli. Again, you have great color. And what I like to do when I roast, make sure you get those nice, dark, deep amber colors on it, because that's gonna be the flavor. That's what you want. You want that great kind of roasted flavor because one, you're layering then all these great flavors on there. You're layering in the beautiful herbs that are in there with the dressing. You're getting some sweetness from these carrots that are roasted. I mean, we all have to be honest. Who doesn't love a roasted carrot? So we're gonna throw that in there. And then we wanna make sure to kind of stir it up. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna stir it, and you are instantly getting the color. You're getting the beauty. Guys, does this excite you for summer season? You're gonna wanna just grill something so you can make the salad. And that's what I love. So in increments, what I do is add the dressing. So it was sitting for a while, soaking it in, so I like to add a little bit more. Sometimes I reserve just, you know, because it also can change how much you really need. So you wanna make sure you just kind of add it. But the thing is, you usually end up using it all because you love it so much. And while that's really absorbing, I like to on top save some of the greens from those scallions. And I just chop up some of the greens. I mean, so usually what I would do at this point, we would let it fully cool in the fridge. It absorbs, it's beautiful. But for you guys, I just wanna make sure to have some now. So you have your beautiful pinoli or pine nuts. I like to get a nice toasted color because one, that's how you're gonna get the most flavor. So I'm gonna grab a bowl, we're gonna grab a silverware, and we're gonna taste this. So to finish it off, and again, I think it's just kind of the flavor profile we're going for. I like to put a little bit of just kind of like fresh Parmesan on top, just grate it on. I think it's one that, yeah, it looks nice, but you get that hit of that great salty parm flavor, and it's somehow with those pine nuts, with the beauty. I mean, guys, look at that. Like, that is a pasta salad to end all pasta salads, and especially like once you chill it, I think you're gonna see like how good it is. I'm gonna try to make sure to get a full bite. I know I always say this. This is so good. And what's great is, look how simple it was. You can make it at home. It's a unique pasta salad, but once you taste it, I think you'll say, this is what pasta salad should be. It is fresh, it is bright, it is summery. You get the roasted carrot, the broccoli, which has great texture, but also is easy to eat and goes well with the pasta. You get that toasted pine nut, a little bit of parm, but then that dressing with the herbs. It's exactly what I want in a pasta salad. And I think you're gonna find out that you do too. So what do I hope you do with it? I hope you share it around. I hope you spread the word that this is a great pasta salad if you enjoyed it, because yeah, that helps me, but it helps so many people see that good food, healthy food, wholesome food is easy to make, because if I can do it, not a trained chef here, I know you can do it, we can all do it. The world is a happier, healthier, better place if we do. So check my website, wiseguide.com, for this recipe, all the other recipes I ever make, tips, tricks, indoor, outdoor, because if I'm not in here, I'm in the garden, which is where I'm gonna go next. So make some pasta salad, enjoy it. I know I did.